Has this happened to you? And that is how I became the Vice President's Assistant Secretary's errand girl. Wow, what a story, Kate. You know, you have such a great voice for telling stories. Have you ever thought about being a voice actor? The thought never crossed my mind, but that sounds fantastic. I'll look into it right now. But then this happened. Damn, everyone's telling me different things. All I asked was how I can get into voice acting, but some are saying buy equipment, some are saying hold off on that and take classes first, and others are saying I can just start auditioning for stuff with my headset or phone. Whatever should I do? Well, don't you worry, we're here to help. At the Voiceovers Bootcamp of Choice, trademark pending, we strive to help you achieve your goals. Whether you want to be the voice of your favorite soda brand, the best taco chain in America, an audiobook for lonely single mothers in their 40s, or your nephew's future favorite video game, we cover all the bases. We'll teach you how to train your voice, the best techniques for how to summon different characters hidden in the depths of your vocal cords, mold them into powerful monsters, witches, or superheroes, and how to tap into that arsenal on command. Within just 5 weeks, you'll practically be a pro. Everyone would want to hire you, and they'd be a fool if they wouldn't. You'll walk out of this program demo ready. Asterisk. Gone are the days where you had to sit through boring technical lessons for over an hour from some old grump that hasn't booked steadily since the 90s. We have young, fresh, hot talent that is booking work right now, and they're willing to give you 30 minutes of their time for just the low price of $999. What's that? You can't believe it? Well, it's true. Get access to short and sweet classes for just $999. But wait, there's more. If you stay until the end of this video, you'll unlock a special discount. So don't go away. Hear what some of our graduates have had to say. I got to take a class taught by Hiram Buckley. He taught me how to summon my inner demon voice. It was awesome. I used to be very nervous about all of this, but I've always wanted to do audiobooks. And as soon as I was done with the workshop, I booked a project from Audible. Yeah, I can't believe it either. Double asterisk. My class was taught by Harvey Spleen for some reason. I guess the successful actor that was booked was unable to attend. What are you doing? But he did give me some valuable advice, and I learned a lot. I feel ready to take on the voice acting world. Yeah. Are we cutting this? We have students that have been the voices of Subway, Revlon, CoverGirl, Southwest Airlines, 1-800-Flowers, and your mom's favorite local grocery store. So why wait? Just fill out your information to unlock the special discount awaiting you at the end of this video. Your future stardom will thank you. See you on the other side. The tiny text on the bottom of the sign-up form so we do not get sued. Demo ready is a term meaning you may leave this course ready to record a demo. Results may vary. We do not actually produce demos. This is not a recording studio. Audible is an example of what one of our students booked because she already had connections. This is not indicative of the immediate opportunities that will be available to you. What a load of bullshit. Doc, I think I just got scammed. I paid like a ton of money for classes and they didn't even give me a demo. Christ. Wait in the lobby while I mentally prepare myself for a bit. I'll have my receptionist play the latest Cold Read episode so you can listen to some actually useful tips. Okay. Thanks.
I feel bad. I actually feel bad for characters. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cold Read. This is a podcast for voice actors by voice actors. That intro was by Misty. Thank you, Misty. There's a lot of... I see that you're setting up a world here. I can't wait to hear next time that we do an intro and see what's going on here. So
I feel like I've been ripped off in multiple ways.
Right?
Not only did you decide to make a character that comes from the Midwest, like where I'm from, you also decided to steal a character that I've been building up for an entire fucking year.
Just a reference. It's not actually saying anything. It was just a cute little nod.
It
I was
was,
just
it was.
inspired by some of the voice acting workshop videos I've seen over the years.
Right. And I, unfortunately, I mean, there is basically those type of commercials going around, and wow.
Yeah.
Lesson is, be careful with out there, especially if it's got asterisks all over the place and a voice that talks really, really fast at the end. So, welcome to Cold Read again. My name is Zamoody. For those of you that are joining us, thank you that are here physically live or watching us on YouTube or anywhere you get your podcasts. If you have any ideas for topics or any suggestions for us, you can email us at ColdReadthePodcast@gmail.com, or you could join our Discord, where the link is going to be in the description. Either on any of the various platforms that we're on. If you have a question or if you have a particular demo tape, we'd love to hear your demos or your audio. We will give any form of constructive feedback that we have available. We've done it for each other, and we all grow from the experience. So don't be afraid to give it a try. Normally, this would be the point where I would hand it off and give it to Renara. So for those of you that are watching live, there's you see the black and white image of Renara. Gone but not dehydrated, says the title. I wonder who made that.
It's a mystery, gang.
Yeah. Those of you that are here, that's MattMan that we're here. That's our guest for this week. Thank you for joining us, MattMan.
Anytime. Hello.
Hello. We could technically consider you maybe like a guest host, I guess, today too. So you have guest and hosting duties.
Oh man, that's a lot. I don't know if I'm ready.
So at the end of the show, at the end of the show, I'm going to make you do Renara's sign off, which is generally all the positivity. So I'm warning you now at the beginning, so you don't have to worry about it afterwards. But I'm going to check in with the rest of the crew before we get there. So, Misty, how is? I know it's been a couple of weeks that we haven't talked. How are you doing?
I guess a bit better. With the voice acting stuff, again, just doing the YouTube thing. I want to get back into auditioning seriously again for sure. It's just when I do those, sometimes I do like 2 scripts sometimes like at once, and it gets so overwhelming in my closet that I'm like, no more.
Right.
So I want to do those on a day where I don't have anything to do. And apart from that, like, the intro was really fun because it gave me something I actually enjoyed doing, which was, yay, I need that in my life, so I'll see if I can. I'm just happy I have the chance to do those because it does give me something that gives me a little challenge. I really enjoy, like, writing the scripts and all that, so I will continue to make, like, brainstorm stuff for that. Apart from that, working on getting a car still. We'll see. We'll see where that goes. Hopefully soon.
Gotcha. Well, good luck and hopefully the best for you. I hope you get that driving experience in and everything works out on that side too. So,
did you pass your test?
Not yet. They said that they'd get back to me with that for, like, you need more experience and stuff. But, like, they said that they'd help me, but they never called back. So I'm just gonna buy a car and try to practice with it before taking the test. We'll see.
Get used to the dimensions of your own car. I mean, it's understandable. So, generally, I mean, if you're an adult, it's definitely a way to go for it. Because I just went through this with my daughter. She's now a licensed driver. Her car, unfortunately, isn't in the best shape, but she decided she wanted to buy a '96 Cadillac Seville.
Okay.
And those are nightmares for mechanics. And when I told my mechanic, I swear he was just about to run out and like say, nope. He's got it pretty set. All we need is the automatic transmission. So I understand what you're going through when it comes to car issues. So good luck to you. Hopefully it works out. Eldurrino, hello.
Oh,
how are you?
Pretty good, I think. I have been going through a little bit of a crisis, I guess. It occurred to me the other day that I I have too many interests, and I don't know which one I want to pursue as a full-time career.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it started off with voice acting, and I still love it to this day. I love doing that. But then I realized, like, I can do so many like different things. Like I write music and perform it. I am writing stories, trying to improve my own writing.
Mm-hmm.
I love making videos, yada yada yada. So I'm not sure which route I want to go down, or if I want to try and figure out something that encompasses all of that, which would be ideal, but unlikely. So really just kind of focusing on where I see things heading. I want to actually go back to school and kind of brush up on education, just because like I went to a community college over a decade ago now, and I was for network administration, completely, separate from any type of artistic career, and I hated it. It was the most miserable classes I've ever taken. I did have one cool teacher, but the class was horrible. I hate networking so much. So I want to go back, and I want to really brush up on things. I'm thinking about majoring in writing. Minoring, I don't know about yet, but we'll figure that out as the road goes. So I've just kind of been just focusing on doing one thing at a time, which is one thing that I was kind of struggling with too. I've been working on a song. I've been working on a story. I've been doing like so many different things aside from, my real life responsibilities. So, so I'm kind of taking a step back a little bit, and I'm glad that we're going to be talking about that today as our topic.
Yes.
Because I think it's important to reflect upon those times in which you would just feel very overwhelmed, and you need to recognize, if you're too close to the edge. I just been kind of doing one thing at a time. The song that is going to debut in 2 weeks in Renara's intro is pretty much done. I put out a casting call, actually, so we're going to have some additional voices in there. That's fun. Nice. So now that I'm done with that, or mostly done with that, I can focus on other things, which is, doing more intros ahead of time, so I don't feel so stressed out. So, no, overall though, I mean, I feel like I'm doing very well. I'm being a bit more productive than I'm used to. However, come Monday, it's back to the booth for me. I need to stop pussyfooting about and, making up excuses, and just get auditions out, because I know I can do it, and I know I'm decent at it. So I just gotta stop being a wimp.
Yep, I agree. Well, thanks for being here, Eldurrino. And yeah, stop being a wimp,
bitch.
Zamoody, how are you doing?
Well, thank you, man. That's very, very kind of you to ask. I appreciate you.
I'm gonna take the role of a guest host. How are you doing, Zamoody?
Nice. So, let's discuss last week's episode. So, I've been very open about where I live and the areas that I am. So, I am located in Tijuana, Mexico, 90% of the time. Over the last weekend, there was some disturbances that caused a lot of closures and the populace to be very concerned. And I was in the U.S. while that was going on. And I decided it would be too difficult for me to try to come home and then come in, wake up at a particular point, because I didn't get until like super late, and then do a podcast. So unfortunately, even though we advertised that we would be here, we weren't able to be here. So my apologies for that. As of now, everything has calmed down. The only thing that I saw was Friday, before I even knew what was going on, as I was driving home, crossing the border. There is a major artery that basically splits off into 3 different places: Playas de Tijuana, Eastern Tijuana, or then straight into like downtown, as an example. There was a bus on fire underneath the bridge, and I had to go around a one-way street facing all of the traffic that was coming the opposite way, and then I'd turn away. Funny enough, I didn't think very much of it, because this isn't the first time I've seen a flaming car on my commute home.
Oh.
Now, that last time that it happened, it was a truck that broke down and literally like set itself on fire. And as I drove next to it, all the flames were like, right in my face. I just thought it happened again.
Oh, you didn't think it was vandalism.
I didn't think it was vandalism. I didn't think it was like discourse or cartels or whatever, ended up actually being. I just thought it was another Friday night as I'm coming home. It wasn't until later that night that my wife's like, hey, take a look at this article and tell me what's up. And I looked at it and I was like, okay, well, tomorrow is my daughter's birthday. We are leaving and we are not coming back until late. So we left super early in the morning. We crossed and we had my daughter's birthday party and then we were back over. So again, everything's safe. Everything's calmed down. Hopefully everything stays the way that it is. From a voice acting point of view, and I did note this on the host chat, as of Wednesday, I've officially back in the booth. I've put out at this point about 20 auditions. Haven't heard anything back on them. I'm rusty, I'm sure. But I decided I've got about 2.5 months before my voices.com account is due for renewal. So if I don't earn that money by that point, I'm letting it go.
Didn't you say you made your sub back?
I have previously. Keep in mind now, I am putting 2 people through college and I am fixing a dead car.
Yeah.
So unless I can make an extra 5 between now and then, that'll sit in my PayPal and get sucked away from voices.com. I'm going to just let it go for now and just continue working on building a reputation, working on LinkedIn and Twitter and making more of a presence there and not worrying too much about the commercial stuff. So that's my plans for the future. And I've decided this, and I've got some more, very positive news recently that have brought me up a little bit more, and I'll go into it more in my next intro. So I'm not going to touch on it too much this time. So yeah, it's been a very busy couple of, weeks since we last talked, and here we are. So thank you again for asking, MattMan. Let me return the question, sir. How are you? How have you been?
I'm doing all right, all things considered. I kind of toned back from where I was the last time we talked, as far as I think back then I was releasing a video a week, and now it's kind of toned back to video every month, which is actually better for my health in the long run.
Now, yeah.
Other than that, sorry, go ahead.
No. Other than that, let's finish up.
Other than that, I've also tried my hand at streaming and giving that a shot, seeing how that works, and had a lot of fun with it. Just because it helps. Because when I play video games normally, it's like, well, not really doing a lot. I'm playing a game, but am I really progressing in anything? And as if I stream, then it's like, well, I already play games at night. Might as well just stream them.
Yeah.
Keep growing the community.
And a lot of people do that, and it's a good way of doing it. And it's interesting that you bring, because you don't just put out any old thing when it comes to videos. You write, you produce, you find people, and I've seen your animations and everything. You put in a lot of work for your videos. So when you were doing it weekly, how much time would you say that it would take for you to produce one?
Oh man, that was like every night, putting in at least 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
And that was a lot. So I'd basically work my main job. I'd come home and work my second job, which was all the writing, all the editing, all the animations. It was a lot.
Yeah. I can totally understand. So at what point did you, I mean, obviously your channel did really well. You had a couple videos that you even got a reply from one of the developers for one of the games that you were making videos for, right?
Yeah. The developers reached out. They loved the content. It was, and I even managed to have a conversation with him, and it was really interesting to it was an interesting development where it's like, well, I made this thing, and then here I am talking to one of the developers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that motivated you to want to keep going too.
Yeah, it did. And it kept driving me to keep wanting to do more and more and more. But eventually you kind of, I don't want to say peak, but you reach a point where you kind of plateau.
Sure.
And then you kind of, you hold that stability for as long as you can.
Right.
But
well, and I mean, that's not a bad thing, I wouldn't say. I mean, it's
no.
It challenges you to figure out, what's the next big thing, because I mean, I know I certainly feel that way about my own projects. Writing an hour-long musical, I was like, this is the best I can do so far. And now I'm just trying to beat that out. I think Zamoody may have dropped his connection. I don't know if he's still here or not.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
But we can continue having our conversation.
Well, you guys, I can still hear you guys.
Yeah, because that's the other thing too, is that if you go back and watch the old videos, and God bless you if you do, because I can't stand them. I can't stand looking at my old stuff. But if you go back and watch them, you'll see that each one was a little bit different. So on top of, I need to come up with an interesting script, I got to record it, I got to edit it, I also have to make it unique and spin it in its own way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to do that for long periods of time is just not, it's just not feasible.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, and I don't know, I find that it helps to have your own, like, your own niche thing, I guess, that makes each thing consistent. Like, I love awkward humor. I love when, you know, some character makes a joke and nobody laughs, or someone just like coughs in the background. Like, that kind of stuff is funny for me. And so I try to incorporate that as much as I can, because I don't know, it's just funny. Like, in my last intro, Renara's character made a joke about, or made a comment about the woman with the world's longest fingernails. Like, to most people, that's probably like, what? But I don't know. I find that kind of stuff hilarious. So, you know, it's hard to keep like reinventing the wheel in a sense every time you put out a new episode.
Yeah, definitely. And then from there too, I also expanded. So originally, for a lot of people who don't know, got really big doing Darkest Dungeon lore and explaining like the character stories, and sort of like, because we learn about these characters, but we learn about them through essentially sticky notes, which are just their little blips of dialogue where they mention something, but when you put all the pieces together, then you see the full picture of like, well, this person was in an asylum because they make reference to these orderlies.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that they were tortured in this asylum because they also mentioned, oh, they had to keep me alive. But when you put all those pieces together, you get the full picture of, well, this person was in an asylum because of a disease that they have, and they were trying to cure them.
Sorry about that. I'm working through the technical issues. Sorry, I'm still here. So keep going.
Technical problems here.
Yeah.
And that's where I started, was just looking at that. And then I released a big old movie starring some people in this room, or in this voice channel. Maybe you heard of them. Maybe you haven't. I don't know. And from there, we just kept on going, talking about some of the different groups and factions. But then also, I expanded into other games like XCOM, which I really enjoyed and really like playing and messing around with and trying to get like the perfect shot of what I want this scene to play out at.
Can we bring up the other project that you had us slated for? Because I know, like, I don't want to talk about it if it's something you want kept under wraps, but I know that you were having some issues with that as well.
Yeah, we could talk about it.
Well, I mean, it's up to you if you want to talk about the topic, but I mean, I know you had some difficulties putting it together, and I don't know if some of it was caused by the voice actor side, or if it was the production side, or what happened there.
So I will say that the issue was completely on my end, and this was me. You guys did everything great. Like, the voice acting was perfect. I could not have asked for a better performance by any of you. The problem that I ran across was, and this was an issue that I came across because this is the first time I had ever dubbed in something.
Oh, for clarification.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about a game called Inscription, which is a like horror themed card building or deck building game, which you can find. It's very fun. Go check it out. It's very interesting.
It's a very fun game, and I played it. I think I played it in one night, and it basically broke my brain, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
But essentially, through the entire story, you're getting a narration from a character, and you also meet all these quirky, weird characters along the side, like the prospector, the trapper, the fisherman, or no, he's the angler.
Yes.
And I saw all this, and I was like, man, maybe I could dub in these characters with actual voices, because they don't actually talk. They just make like grunting noises.
Ah, okay.
And in doing that, I recorded it just recorded my playthrough one day and went back and tried to edit in the voice, dub in the voice. Problem was, and I didn't even realize this at the time, I was clicking too fast through the dialogue.
Oh, gotcha.
So the dialogue would show up on screen for a second or two, and then it would disappear.
Right.
So I figured, okay, well, I can fix this. I'll just slow down this section, and it'll slow down everything. That'll be fine, right? Well, when you do that, there's music in the background that also slows down and gets very distorted.
Oh,
While very creepy, it just immediately takes it away. Like you can tell in a second.
Right, which is funny because the music in that game is already inherently creepy. So to slow it down even more just makes it like almost unlistenable, I would say.
It's unlistenable, or I think it's just absolutely horrifying when you hear it.
At like a quarter speed or an eighth?
Yes. If you play it back at an eighth of a speed, it sounds like the banjo. It's like...
Wow.
So that happened, and I was like, oh my... So if I were to go back and finish it, I would basically have to replay through the entire game again and record it, taking note that I need to give time in between when it's read, when it's on screen, and when you guys speak it.
Right.
Sure. And I think we talked about that before too. Like, I mean, you have a couple of different options in that scenario where you could just plan to have that space in there, or you could do that and then have your voice actors do like an ADR essentially, where you have 5 seconds to speak a line, and you have a clock sitting right next to the video, and as soon as that you hear the little click or the beep or whatnot, that's when you start recording.
Yeah, because that's the other thing, is that there's conversations that occur. There's conversations between characters, like the stink bug and the wolf. They speak to each other, and those are cards that you get in the game. Well, then how do you handle that, where Zamoody's recording one thing and Eldurrino's recording another thing?
Yeah.
And that kind of threw a wrench into the mix. It's not impossible. It's not like it can't be done. I just need to do either more work on my end, or I need, like Eldurrino said, the APR for the voice actors of this conversation takes place within 10 seconds or 20 seconds.
Yeah.
That comes into what was like the 3 dots in dubbing and everything else. So yeah, I can see that being a frustration on your side. And I mean, here it is. You have this idea and you want to bring life to this particular game, and then now you're realizing that how much. Let me ask you this: how long did it take you to play through the game? How much footage was that?
Oh, I have about 6 hours of footage.
Yeah.
And I will say I did not use all of it. A lot of it got trimmed down. A lot of it, like the random stuff, we can just cut through and slice in. You won't lose that much. The big plot points and everything,
yeah,
it's still going to be like an hour and a half.
Wow.
Which is a
crazy.
lot to trim through and put dialogue to. It's not like the project is dead, never going to happen. It's right over here. I have it saved on a hard drive.
Right. But I mean, it's you've got the burden is on you, of course, as the creator. But now you've got to spend at least another 6 to 8 hours doing a whole new playthrough. So at one point you're looking at all of this and you want to do it. When did you say enough is enough?
I think after the 10th time I tried to slow down a scene, and I was like, okay, this is getting too much. The music in the background is too distracting from what we're seeing on screen. So even if I were to go back and do another playthrough, what I would do is I would mute the music mute the music in game and just put that back in post, because I have the soundtrack.
Right.
Yeah, that does make more sense, because you're losing all the sound effects and everything else when you're obviously, if you try to say cut that audio out and then either freeze frame or slow it down, you're losing other pieces of it, right?
Yeah, that's the other thing, is just sound effects themselves. Like do I just mute all the sound effects and then dub them in later? That's a lot of sound effects, especially for that game that's all about cards, and each card has its weird noise that it makes. And
Sheesh. Well, I'm gonna have to buy this game, because it sounds a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Good game. Yeah. I got it because Matt was talking about it and whatnot, and I was like, well, if I want to play this character, I should probably know something about them. So I played it, and I was like, wow, this is like one of the better games I played.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It is an experience. Is all I can say.
Okay.
And that's not including. Go ahead. Eldurrino will know about this. Eldurrino knows about this because he's played it. And this has happened to me no less than 3 times that I've tried to record this game. If you're doing too good too fast, the game will intentionally stop you.
Wow.
There will be points in which you think you can proceed, and that like the game is aware that you have to do things in a certain order, essentially. So if you are trying to go or push past something too fast, like the game just basically throws out a ton of really strong, almost unbeatable cards and says, nope, fuck you.
It throws out the strongest cards. It throws out an entire deck. Like there's 8 squares. It throws out 8 of the strongest cards in the game. And as I also learned, you can bypass it, but it screws up the rest of the playthrough.
Yes.
Wow.
Very intelligent
So it's like,
in that.
the developers knew what they were doing, is all I can say.
There's other games that are self-aware. All of a sudden, I think about. I know. Gosh, what was it? It was by Toby. Toby Fox. Yeah.
Undertale.
Undertale, like it knows that you're up to this. I love that games are doing this right now. It's like that. It's you know more than you're letting on, and it's just like it throws you in a completely different area. But
the game has 2 saves: the one you can interact with and the one that it actually keeps.
Yes. Oh man.
So you can do something, reload a save, try to do it again. They're like, wait a minute, we've been here before.
Oh my gosh.
It's very self-aware, and I love when games do that. Like I don't know if you guys have played a game called In Sound Mind. It's a horror game about a psychologist that is kind of like going through his patients' issues, essentially. And there was a point in the game in which there's a clearly indicated path in which I was supposed to go. It was through like a shipping container, and then there was a fence to my left. I was like, I bet you I can jump over that fence and bypass this area. Lo and behold, I could. So I just kept traveling around the fence, and all of a sudden I reached this rock. And as you play through the game, this character is like leaving you little notes that are kind of like teasing you in a sense. But anyways, you get to that rock, and there's a note on it, and you pick it up, and it says like you're a shifty little fucker. Get back inside the boundaries of the map. It was so self-aware. It has made my day.
I gotta check that out.
Well, another game, and in all reality, it has excellent voice acting in it. That has something like that. Stanley Parable.
Parable.
I love that game. My girlfriend.
That's such a good one.
Hates repeating the same thing over and over, but I keep trying to convince her to give it another shot.
Yeah,
it's fun.
No, super self-aware game, and I need to look up who the voice actor is, because it's top notch, great timing. Love the voice in it. But yeah, that also comes to mind. And I apologize for getting off topic, because I know it's hard. It's hard to talk about burnout. It's hard to talk about taking more than you initially anticipated. Everybody here, I'm sure, has walked away from a project because you realize that it's just the investment is going to be way too much. So
yes.
So it was so you'd already invested a whole bunch of time in trying to figure out all these hurdles. What did you do? Did you just walk away, or how did you get to that point, Matt?
So again, like I'm sitting there and I'm trying to edit this the best I can, so that way the music is not like that disturbing and that jarring. And I'm sitting there and I'm trying to edit it the best I can, and I was just like, this is too much. This file is already massive enough. We're not even 45 minutes in. We're only at 30 minutes. And at this point, I also didn't realize how much the narrator spoke, because holy crap.
Yeah.
So you had the narrator role. That's
And I had the narrator role. So actually what I
Nice.
did was I went in and lowered my bass so that way it sounded way more intimidating and like creepy and fitting. And then the funny thing I was going to do at the end was, Eldurrino knows this, when you finally meet the narrator at the end, he's just like some guy. And so then I was going to switch from like the voice filter I was using to just my normal voice.
Gotcha. The pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Plot twist.
Exactly.
Yeah. Love it.
Creative.
But here, so investing 30 minutes into that's a long time to, because I mean that's 30 minutes viewable.
Well,
you've probably put in
30 minutes viewable. You
Yeah.
got to remember, for every, I don't know what the exact ratio is, but for every minute you see on screen, there's 10 minutes behind the scenes.
Oh man. But I'm because you're not sleeping because you want to get this done. It lives in your head rent free, I'm sure.
It did.
Yeah.
But then there came a point where I was just like, if I invest any more time into this, the opportunity cost of me putting all this effort into it is not going to equal the final product that I'm going to get out.
Right.
And there comes a point where you just have to say, this project is too much for one person or me or for a group.
Mm-hmm.
And you just got to let it go. And maybe you can come back to it later now that, or maybe you can take what you've learned from that project and apply it to something else. Because now that I know what I need to do when it comes to dubbing, say if I want to dub in a different game, like, I don't know, Cult of the Lamb, which I've been playing a lot on stream. I know what I need to do this time. Like, I know I need to give it enough pause. I know I need to give them, like, you have 10 seconds to say these lines.
Yeah.
And I know that it's better to mute the music and dub it in later.
See, that's an interesting part. I think that's definitely a lesson. Because I do a lot of my own videos and stuff. That's a really good idea. Because the music could be terribly distracting if you try to do like any type of effect on it. So thank you for that. At the very least.
As long as you have the soundtrack.
Yeah. No, totally makes sense. I think, like I said, all of us have had that particular project. I know I was very, very open with a particular one that we all have to look at it and we have to consider is our time that's going in going to be exactly worth what the outcome is. I love trying to help people get to their vision as best as they can. I wear 4 different hats. I only have so many hours in the day. And I do need to consider what's going to get my career moving forward.
Right.
And for you, it was what's going to help my channel be able to get much more advantage out of all of this.
Well, it became a thing of like, well, what are people more likely to watch? This hour-and-a-half video or this 10-minute video? These 10-minute videos that I do explaining the lore behind this character, or this hour-and-a-half of very good dubbing, excellent voice acting, atmospheric movie, which would be great on its own, but is it going to benefit the channel?
Right.
Misty,
Because
unmuted.
something-
Yeah,
bring in
I
new
think you got
people, I don't
something
know.
here.
It is something that I've had some channels and creators that I follow on YouTube that it's something that unfortunately they've had to deal with, where it's like they have, especially in their realm where they're bigger on YouTube, like they have to submit themselves to like the algorithm and all that. And they've even noticed that it responds positively to the content that they've already done that is popular already. And if they want to do something different, it punishes them and it really hurts like to them, because like they put so much work into something a little different, something fun, something they want to present to their viewers, and it gets so little views because it's not as recommended. Sometimes their subscribers don't even get notified. It's just awful. And it feels like it's really punishing them from sort of going outside the box. And I get that struggle, because it's like, damn.
That becomes the artist's struggle, is you want to create, but you're kind of restricted on what you can create, on what is going to be seen.
Which, that's silly to me. I feel like you should be able to create whatever the hell you want and still have it be as successful, I guess, or at least as visible to the general public as possible.
That's just a YouTube problem in general, from my experiences.
I could go into this topic, but
yeah, that's not
since its infancy, so they're never gonna figure it out.
Like
Yeah,
if it were a platform that like it was very streamlined and like everything that you make, it's it's distributed to everyone that follows you, but like in some cases with YouTube, people get automatically unsubscribed somehow. It's like it's just so weird. It's like why?
Yeah, right.
And you're right. We couldn't. This is also a rabbit hole when it comes to YouTube creators or any content creator in general. I'm trying to switch over from one game to another, and I've seen a huge drop in my viewer base, and barely starting to pick up. And it's interesting that you say my longer videos get next to no views, but if I do like a 5 or 6 second video, I get thousands of views. So algorithm is just it's a beast when it comes to this stuff too.
It's weird how that happened too, because it seems like it switched back. It came full circle. We wanted the shorter videos, then the long form essay videos got popular, and now thanks to shorts, we've come full circle again, and now shorts are the biggest thing.
Yeah,
and it's the companies themselves that want to focus on these shorts too, because everybody's trying to recreate TikTok. So now YouTube has got its shorts, and Facebook has got its reels, and Instagram has whatever the hell they're doing. Yeah. It's round and round.
Everyone, I'll say this. I was back in the early days of Vine. Everyone says TikTok. No, I was here when Vine was still a thing.
Yeah. And now those things are compilations running around.
Though, because it's like the whole thing is like they're trying to keep people on the app and everything. It's like I don't see why, like, if someone actually does sit through like a really long video, like it's still time spent on the app and all that. That's like I don't. Still, like they're trying to feed like the cycle of how TikTok works and all that, where it's so addicting, you're just sort of like lose time on there. It's like I think if someone's willing to sit through like a 2-hour video on YouTube, it's like that's honestly great to me, but I guess that's
there's a really good documentary on Netflix about that and how social media plays off of the human psychology and the human brain. Super fascinating to watch, and it will change your fucking your life. So go check it out. I promise it's worth it, and you might throw your phone away.
Yeah, good luck with that one. Okay, well, at least you haven't completely given up, man. I think that's what's important when it comes to all of this, is that you avoid the complete burnout. I struggled with going back to voice for literally it's 15 weeks, because I saw when my last audition went out, it was back in May, and here we are finally in August that I'm going to start over. So it's good that you're back, or at least that you're doing it once a month.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's not like it's never going to happen. It's just if I were to go back to it, I have to do some things beforehand to make sure that when we go into it, I know how much we need, what I'm looking for. And again, now that I've learned those painful lessons, I make sure I don't repeat them again.
Yeah.
Way more than just someone telling me like, hey, you should do this. If you've done it, you know the pain that comes with it.
Right. Yeah. It's when it comes to bigger projects, it certainly helps to plan ahead a little bit. I was curious though. You were talking about wanting to try out your hand in different forms of media, such as streaming. What would you recommend for people who are kind of stuck where they are, or are doing their one particular thing? How would you suggest people try to facilitate a transition into something new, such as streaming, or like in my case, writing, music production, etc.?
For me, it was a case of doing what you like, which I know sounds very cheesy, but it's the truth. Is you have to enjoy what you're doing, otherwise the minutes become hours, become days of just playing the game that you cannot stand.
Yeah.
And granted, yes, you will take a dip, but when you are enjoying it, it seems like the people around you will also enjoy it.
Yeah, and they'll notice too.
They'll notice.
Notice if someone is not having fun versus someone who is actually enjoying themselves and having the time of their life.
Yeah, and that's something that I've kind of struggled with too, is like when you play Darkest Dungeon to record footage all day,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't necessarily mean that you want to get on stream and then start playing Darkest Dungeon some more. It's like when it becomes your job or what you do, you don't necessarily want to return home and start doing that again. Like, I have more interests outside of just this one game. I have an entire list of games that I like to play and movies that I like to watch that are completely different, and even streams that I like to watch that are nowhere near what I play on stream.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're not a one-trick pony. You obviously, you're human, and that's again, like what Misty's saying. Sometimes we get punished because we're in this niche and we try to extend out, and it just doesn't work out. At the same time, this can be applied to voice acting, because if you're in the booth and all of a sudden it's turned into, I got to get this done, I got to get this work, I got to get some money, that affects your performance, and that affects everything that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are people who are capable of doing that. I mean, I guess in voice acting, that would be typecasting, but there are people who, like, that is what they love to do, is this one thing throughout their entire day and into the night. And, you know, that's great for them, but everyone else has to, you know, diversity is the spice of life.
It's funny you say that, because we watch a show called Big Brother, and there's always the Big Brother announcer dude. I swear this one, I haven't heard him do anything else, but he's been doing the Big Brother voice for like 25 years at this point, or 25 seasons or whatever. And it's like, you've got that one niche that's paying your bills. Yeah, go for it. I'm sure he wants to, I don't know what the contract looks like or anything else, but it's funny that it just makes me think of those people that have that one little thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys know who Johnson's Voice is over in TikTok. He does a lot of food reviews on TikTok. He's a voice actor. I hear him now doing all of the Bally's commercials and all of some sports when it comes to like Bally Sports or whatever. Constantly hear his voice. A buddy of mine tried to hire him to do an intro for his podcast many years ago. And now this guy is sitting there with like this nice little job and like 2 million followers on TikTok. It's just crazy how it works out. And even that one niche can help you, extend out.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that's something I'm struggling with actually at the moment with my my gig with the YouTube channel, where it's like, if it were better scripts, I guess I would have more fun with it. But the content is just like not what I enjoy. It's just the most like surface levels, like gossip, celebrity gossip and stuff. And the way the scripts are written and something, I'm like, I'm dead inside. So I do it because it's a gig, I'm
Right.
getting paid, it's what I need, but it really sucks the soul out of like doing that. So that's why also I'm like left with no motivation when I'm done to just do something. I'm like, I just want to stop like recording, because it's like, and that's something I've experienced on Fiverr over the last few years. So it's like, it sucks I'm in this position, but I have to try to get myself cheered up somehow, because I'm stuck with this practically because it's all I'm being paid for. So
I
will say that
the F word on this podcast.
I will say that when you have enjoyment in what you do, it definitely makes the process a lot easier. So like every single script that I write, I take a long time to write it, but when I'm reading it, it sounds natural. It sounds like what I would say, and it sounds like something I would want to convey.
Right. Mm-hmm. I've enjoyed your stuff. It's really well organized, and it's well put together. So you're right. It's a good story. It's laid out really well, and I mean, it's like when you get fed up with stuff, you just kind of like, I'm gonna go and just get it done and just throw it out. And it's good that you're willing to put in the time and recognize when it was too much. So glad to see that you're not giving up.
Nah. And Eldurrino, you mentioned writing advice. What kind of writing did you have in mind? Because that's a whole topic in on itself.
I mean, nothing in particular. I just meant as far as like, you have your one job, that you're good at, you excel at. How do you, move from something like that to something that might be in the same vein, might be wildly different. I mean, just for me, like I realized, there's a lot of things that I used to do as a teenager that I love to death, like making videos. I had a YouTube channel that started back when YouTube was a thing, or when it became a thing. I didn't really write music, but I've certainly fallen in love with that recently. And I was actually working on like a short, I don't know if I'd say novel. I guess it technically would be a novel because it was 15 to 20 page chapters. So I've started to realize like I'm still decent at that, and I've been working to improve my writing more and more through education, practice, and feedback. So I don't know. I mean, like, I guess we could turn that into a question then. Like, what would you, in like the writer's seat, what would you do? Say you sign up for a project that you feel like is bearing down on you. How would you deal with that personally?
So as far as like writing and something like that, when it comes to writing, it is definitely something that has to be given time. It's like a bowl of chili. You see, you got to give it the time it needs to fully get all the flavors out of it. But if you rush that bowl of chili, man, you're going to get dysentery. I'm sorry.
That's such a good analogy. Like, wow, I don't think I've ever heard a more perfect analogy.
So that's the thing is like, yeah, you get burned out on it, but the best thing to do is to also like even take a step away from it, look at something else, and then come back.
Right.
Because when it comes to writing, like the best way to do it is to pull from not just real life, but what you've seen, what you've experienced, what you've heard, what's already out there. It's not really, I don't want to say plagiarism, but it's more getting inspired by. Yeah.
Right. I even read something in the book that I've been reading lately about, and I don't remember who had quoted this or who said it rather, but the same stories have been told 1,000 times over, since the very beginning of storytelling. The thing that makes it different is your perspective, because no one in this world has the same perspective that you do, down to a T, in a sense.
Because that's the crazy thing is, you're right. The same story has been told thousands of times over, and it's not that different in between cultures either. So,
yeah, that's true.
It seems like there's something wired within humans to tell these same stories over and over again.
I like that.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, the same tropes, I guess. They're simple and they're easy to talk about, or the way I see it is kind of like filling in puzzle pieces. Like, you have most of the puzzle complete. I just need this piece and that piece, and boom, I have a story. I mean, not to say that that's the perfect end all thing, but
it's not. But you're right though. Like the tropes are tools. They're not like, they're meant to enhance the story that you're telling, and tropes themselves are not a bad thing. Like, people might say, oh, this is very trope-like, it's very typical. Well, yes, but tropes exist for a reason, and moreover, tropes can be subverted.
Yeah, that's true.
So what you might be expecting isn't actually what it is.
Right. Which is where plot twists come into play.
Plot twist. With a twist.
Oh my gosh.
It's something I enjoy a lot about movies, where it's like, I think that you would think like at the core it's a very like common story, but if someone does something a little creative or from a different lens, it changes the whole damn thing. Like a movie I watched recently called Belle. It's that's based on like sort of like Beauty and the Beast at the core, but everything around it is just so freaking different that it was like a whole different experience, and I was just so in love with it.
Is it like a horror movie, like the new Winnie the Pooh that's coming out?
No, it's by, oh my god, it's a famous anime like film director. Oh my god, I forgot the name. Mamoru Hosoda. Mamoru Hosoda.
Yeah, I know that sounded very strange, but it is a thing.
Yeah, they're making it because Winnie the Pooh is the copyright expired, so it's technically anyone can do anything, whatever they want.
Really? It's in the public domain now?
Public domain, yeah.
Oh my
That's what I was looking
gosh.
for. So immediately, like, someone just got the idea to do like a horror movie, and it looks so crazy.
It's super wild. just the pictures of it are fucking crazy.
The name is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
What the?
Oh
I
my
love it.
god. Okay. And there's like trailers or just pictures out? Because I'm super curious.
Look at the pictures.
Oh
Yeah.
my
I haven't
gosh.
watched the trailer yet. It looks so
Pretty bad.
crazy.
I'm gonna
It's
have to
just-
look this up.
Yeah,
Like the poster is just like the ugly Winnie the Pooh mask and just like a guy's hand holding like and stuff.
Yeah, I think there's a screen cap of Piglet as well somewhere.
Piglet's on the poster. It looks like a straight up like boar, just like there.
Yeah.
It's, like,
Oh yeah, I see it.
it's so terrifying.
Okay, I just
Wow.
pulled up the IMDb page. I'm posting it in chat.
I'm like, what?
What the hell?
It's so scary.
That's so
Oh my
funny.
god, that's
Several
supposed
questions.
to be Piglet?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. For those of you that can't watch, essentially, yeah, if I'll put the link in the description room for when we get to that point. If anybody clicks on it early, surprise. Yeah. Wow.
Love the tagline. This ain't no bedtime story.
Oh my god. Okay, I just saw the not the synopsis, but I think the description of the movie. It follows Pooh and Piglet as they go on a rampage after Christopher Robin abandons them. Oh my
Seems like-
god.
Classic story. Imagine. I'm sorry. I know we're completely.
We are way
topic.
off topic, yeah.
Imagine the same situation, but with Toy Story.
And it's funny because that
man,
immediately
dude,
what I
yeah,
thought of, because I remember like, what was it, 3 or something, where they get all abandoned? It's like,
yeah, like Annie goes off to college. Could you imagine that these toys then like just amass this giant like slaughterhouse armada of toys?
I can't imagine the kind of stuff that's going to happen when Mickey Mouse goes public domain eventually.
Oh,
They've
it'll
been
never.
resisting, but it's going to happen, and it's going to be crazy.
I don't think that'll
applauding.
ever happen. It's too much of a moneymaker for Disney.
They've been putting it off as long as they can, but I heard that's like it's not impossible. Like it will happen eventually.
Eventually, yes.
Yeah, they've
but
been trying to put it off.
I don't know if we will ever see it in our lifetime.
I don't know.
I don't know how to get us back on track on this one. I'm actually
We're
kind of
much out of time here.
yeah,
so.
yeah. We've got about 3 minutes. So Matt, any last thoughts or any advice for those people that are struggling with something that they've got too much on?
So my last thoughts are for actually two things, tying back to what Eldurrino said about like branching out. When I started streaming too, and this is something that I found, was that I tied it back to my YouTube. And that was something that I am so glad I did, because people who were watching my YouTube content then found my Twitch, and it turns out that they were bigger over on Twitch than they were on YouTube. So then I met more people doing that, like branching out and meeting other people. So it's not like that you're branching out into a completely unknown sector. There are other people there who are willing to, meet up and connect that way. So that helps.
Okay.
Other advice would just be set down the project and take a step back from it for however long you think you need. But don't let it just die.
Right.
Like, keep it in mind, but don't let it take up too much space in your mind, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you don't want to let the I guess negative thoughts fester. It's best to come back with like a fresh set of eyes and ears.
Yeah, so like I said, project's not dead. It's right here on my hard drive.
Right.
It's not going away, but you just learn to accept that, hey, I had to put this one on hold until I can focus, until I get to a better state where I can go back to it.
Now it's
And maybe
interesting.
that better state is coming up, because we only really have the one area left of this Darkest Dungeon game. So who knows?
Yeah, it's interesting. So because I mean, if you're the head and you're at the top of the project, then I can understand. Yeah, I'm going to stop and I'm going to walk away. Now, as a VO though, if somebody was to walk up to you that you've cast and basically saying, "Hey, this is too much. This is not, I'm feeling overwhelmed. What can we do?" Is it something that you're going to negotiate with them, or is it you're going to say, "Hey, I understand. We're going to recast," or how does that work out? Or is it kind of just like a case by case situation?
Me personally, I think it goes case by case because I've been on projects before where, again, the projects just got put on hold and that was kind of the end of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've all had those stories where we're put on projects and they just kind of fizzle out.
Yeah.
Nothing against them, nothing against the art or the creator or anything or the lead. It's just that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens when you're in the content creation business. We're people with microphones and laptops. We're not studio productions and.
Well, so you're saying you're like regular people? Sorry about that. I was trying to restart the music, so I apologize. I hit the wrong button. So you're saying you're a person like me? Oh my gosh, you're not like a super creative machine that we can just like crank out shit?
No, you can't just put a quarter in me and have me crank out an amazing script with editing and voice talent and.
Wow.
Well, that's unfortunate.
We're human beings here,
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the fundamental empathy that comes with voice acting is being able to relate to the person who's speaking to you.
I swear I may just keep that "hey there" for the future reference, just to bring that up randomly from now on, just because I just saw Eldurrino put that in chat.
Please do, because it sounds so like. I will give you credit, Misty. You're like. I don't even know what to call it, but like an infomercial almost, or like an 80s infomercial. That's what your voice sounded like to me, but it was like spot on.
It was 100%. If that's what you're aiming for, good job.
Yeah. Those 80s infomercials, man, that takes me back.
Music, I even tried to get like music that like sort of sounded like it. It was great.
Well, we're at the end of the show. Matt, go ahead. I'm going to say thank you so much. Please do me a favor. Follow MattMan. You've got it under I hope I say this right. Miskatonic Memorialist?
You nailed it.
Oh, yes. All right. Woo. Go follow him on Twitch, please. Did you get the affiliate yet, or are you close? Or?
I am affiliated.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go drop him a follow and a sub.
These nice little emotes. I don't know what they do. Let me try one.
Uh-oh, here comes in chat.
I just need to get to affiliate now. I'll get there soon. Eventually. We'll see.
There you go.
Very cool.
And market yourself. Marketing
helps.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, absolutely.
It's very strange to put yourself out there, but I know it's what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to shift your mindset, really, really. And I know everybody who's been recent guests, and thank you all for sharing your experience. I'm going to go ahead and say, if you want to be a guest, go ahead and look up Eldurrino on Twitter. Send him a message. I think we're still looking for some signups for this season. If not, we got room for future seasons. If you have any questions or if you want to have us talk about a particular topic, you can email us ColdReadthePodcast@gmail.com or go ahead and join our Discord and be part of the community. And we've got a good network of people to help us out. Other than that, we'd love to hear your audio. We'd love to listen to it live and give you constructive feedback. And hopefully that'll help you move on in the future. Now, as I did threaten at the beginning, Matt, your words.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, feel free to give us a sign out.
First, let me just say thank you for inviting me back on, Zamoody. I had a blast. Misty, Eldurrino, always a pleasure to see you both.
Same.
To begin with, here's the positivity for you guys. Listen, son, here's your problem. Here's your problem, son. You're getting too caught up in the nitty-gritty details. You got to take a step back and look at yourself and realize that what's going on in the situation is detrimental to you in the long run. Comes a point where you just have to set that thing down and walk away from it. Come back with a fresh set of eyes a little bit later. Doesn't mean that it's gone. Doesn't mean that it's gone forever. What changed and what's staying with you is the knowledge that you gained from that experience.
Damn, that was deep. Thank you, everybody. Nice. We'll catch you all next time. Bye-bye.
See, you got two wolves inside of you.
Wait.
Is there more?
Nope. I'm done.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Drink water.
Bye.
There it is. Drink water.